Welcome back to another area of depression. So there's 12 total. We've done one already and we've moved on now to another one. And with each of these areas, I am breaking them down even further so that hopefully it's more bite-sized to understand and get the tools that you really need to help decrease any depression you have. And so this area is energy and motivation, and this video is on what it means when you feel low. So again, what the overall hope is to give enough tools that depression in your life can start to decrease and your healthier behaviors can start to increase. So we get the things that we really want out of our lives, and we get to be that best version of ourselves that we picture every day, but sometimes seems really far away and hard to obtain that version. So this series is for those days when even brushing our teeth feels like climbing a mountain, when texting back may feel overwhelming for you, and when getting out of bed feels like it takes everything you have and then some on top of that. So if you've ever blamed yourself for laziness or felt broken because you can't just push through, I want you to know that you are not the problem, right? It's the depression or the anxiety or any other overwhelming emotion that we may have that's negatively impacting us, but we have tools to decrease that negative impact. And in this episode, we're going to break down what capacity really means in the context of depression. Because understanding your capacity is truly the first step in replacing shame with self-respect and burnout with better boundaries. So let's redefine what effort really looks like when you are healing. And so what is the first area that we can do this in? Well, we need to understand what capacity is really. And capacity is your current ability to show up. And showing up is either mentally, it's physically, it's emotionally, it's socially, and it definitely isn't a measure of your worth. It's not fixed, and it's not an all or nothing concept. So when you live with depression, capacity often feels like it shrinks, right? Maybe your capacity is here, and we've gotten a little bit of decrease in our circle if we think of it as a circle around us. You might notice you're more easily exhausted. You lose interest in things that you used to love to do. Simple tasks can take much longer or really feel impossible. But here's the key: capacity does fluctuate. Just like you wouldn't expect yourself to run a marathon with an injury, you don't need to expect high performance from yourself when your mental health is asking for just some care. And what feels easy one day might feel impossible the next. And that doesn't mean you're failing, it just means your system is giving you signals. And your capacity is valid even when it's small. A good example for me is when I run. Some days like today, like high energy, ran for a lot longer. Other days, I'm feeling like it's a burden to go out and run, and I don't want to run as much. So again, our capacity fluctuates in all the areas that I mentioned in our lives. So another area to understand energy and motivation is why capacity fluctuates with depression. So depression doesn't just affect your mood. It actually rewires the brain and body in ways that affect motivation, decision-making, and energy. So here's what might be happening in you. Your dopamine system is disrupted, making rewards feel distant or meaningless. Your nervous system might be stuck in freeze mode. So low energy, disconnection. You may experience emotional fatigue from carrying internal battles all day long. And social or sensory burnout might also play a role. Your brain is doing more behind the scenes than people are actually seeing. And so this is why rest isn't laziness, it's a reset. And it's also why comparing yourself to your old self or to others can be so very damaging for us. Your energy is affected by an invisible load, and it deserves acknowledgement and not judgment. And so what's another area that we can recognize as energy and motivation, and what it means to feel when you are low? Well, we can understand that rest and stillness are actually an active part of our healing process. So let's challenge a cultural myth, right? That if you're not doing, you're not trying. And that's false, and it can actually be very harmful for us. In reality, rest is action. So it's action for when we're healing. And stillness is effort when you're used to surviving. So listening to your body and respecting your limit is one of the most courageous things that you can actually do. Otherwise, we're kind of living a lie, I think. If we, always are presenting this front, it gets us even more exhausted, maybe more depressed, maybe even a little bit more anxious, and we fall further behind. And of course, we don't want to do that. So here's what rest might look like. Saying no to one more thing, even if it disappoints someone, taking a nap without guilt, lying down without scrolling, choosing quiet over productivity, and learning to rest without shame actually helps restore our capacity. You're not giving up, you're giving yourself a chance to return to where our normal base is. And then hopefully to find ways to increase that energy for us that can actually feed our souls and not just leave us at a normal base or decrease our energy at all. So to recap on this video, we talked about how capacity is your moment-to-moment ability to engage, and it does change. Depression impacts every layer of our energy. That's emotional, mental, physical, and social. And rest is valid use of our time, especially when you are navigating healing. So this episode is maybe a permission slip for you to go at your pace, to stop measuring your value by what you accomplish, to listen to your energy with respect and not with resentment. And in our next episode, we're going to dive into how to track your energy throughout the days so you can understand your patterns and start building your routine around what actually works for you. So here is the comment section. This is where you get to drop a comment and talk about your energy and motivation. Talk about what it means to feel low for you and your capacity. Are you topping out your capacity on a normal basis? And why is that? Do you have some area in your life that you have said yes to, but understand that that is not working out and we need to pull back? Are you afraid to pull back? What would that look like for you? Have you learned to measure your capacity, and have you learned how to really move forward with saying no and having healthy boundaries and restoring your energy instead of depleting it? And if you're not sure of what comment to leave, here's a question for you. What's one way you've noticed your capacity change recently? And how are you learning to honor that? And then here is the other section at the end where I talk about the journals and the children's book I had created. So in a world that moves too fast, what if you could create space to come home to yourself and help your children to do the same thing? So start with your heart. So the self-love, self-discovery, and self-discipline journal is your guided path to clarity, purpose, and showing up in your life when you truly want to. And when your anxiety rises, meet yourself with compassion, right? The Anchored in Kindness journal helps you calm your nervous system, understand your patterns, and find peace. One breath, one page at a time. And then for those little hearts that you love the most, meet Luna and Bravion the lion, a magical story that helps children find their courage, listen to their hearts, and trust their own glowing spark. A story of bravery, self-trust, and emotional wisdom, with worksheets at the end to help them as well understand what is going on in their own little bodies and what does courage mean to them and bravery. Now be on the lookout for hopefully some more, not hopefully, they'll be coming just eventually, more journals and some more children's book in this series. And if you like this video, subscribe, comment, or share it or like it.